Hi, my friend, and welcome. Let's talk about emotions. Emotions are very much related to our ego. And as the ego feels injured, it produces emotions immediately. It relates to the mind, but it's the way the mind manifests through our body. It's the way we know that mentally wise we are blocked because we feel the emotions. Now, the mind moves fast, the emotions move slow, if at all. And many times when we go deeper into the body, we can find emotions that are actually very old, but they lodged somewhere within. The mind takes, or the ego, or what we can say, we take emotion very seriously because when there are negative emotion, we don't like it because it's hurt. When it's positive, we like it a lot. So constantly we try to avoid negative emotion and we're looking for what we call positive emotion like love, like happiness, joy, excitement. Now, all the time there are emotions in the body. Even when there is no strong emotions, positive or negative, there's always a certain level of emotions in the body because the body works as a whole, our being works as a whole. So any type of blockage that we're recognizing within can be physical blockage, we don't feel good in our physical body, or it can be emotional or psychological blockage. Always emotions will be present. Even when we feel shortened of breath, this will include always emotions, always. When you work with emotions, actually, you're inviting the system to liberate. So you can use emotion as a portal to liberate yourself from any type of tension. When you bring your awareness to emotion, immediately the emotion will resolve, will soften, will ease. The teaching here is to teach your system first not to take the emotion so seriously and not to feel immediately that if you feel some hurtful emotion, you need to attack. Yeah, you need to somehow dissolve it in a ego-wise or in an action-wise. The way to deal with any emotion, if it's strong or if it's light, is to be with it with space so it can move on. Because normally we get so attached to the feeling of emotion that we need to do something about it. And in a way, we're congealing it. Yeah, we make it tight because we get obsessed with it and we need to take it out of our system fast. What I'm offering is to be with it instead of to deal with it. Instead of to start to analyze why it is and what's the family relationship that created it and why did somebody did it to us. It's just to be present with what you feel, first of all. Of course, if somebody hurt you in purpose, you can set or you should set your boundaries. But before you do anything, be with the actual emotion and give it space to continue to move, because if it's lodged in your system, it's become toxic and it's not healthy to be with negative emotion. Now, to be with emotion, normally we're being as the ego. This is me, I'm me, this person, and I am dealing with my emotions. That maybe somebody provoked this emotion in me. That's what I think. But if you really want to deal with emotion in the best way, the first thing we need to do is to expand our mind. Our mind always tend by default to function in an ego attitude. And like this, it pulls the energy deep inside. We need to teach our mind to expand, to let go and to expand into its source, which is infinity itself. Yeah, when your mind expands to infinity, there's so much space within you for any blockage to move, including and especially emotions. When you're dealing with emotion, first expand your mind. Move from ego to infinity. I know it's difficult, especially when you've been injured strongly, emotionally, but that's the way to do it. And that's the winner. Yeah, that's the way to do it. If you do it this way, you're going to shift very fast. If you move from the ego tendency to resolve this difficult experience of negative emotion, and you move immediately your mind into infinity, the emotion will move really fast and you're going to feel much, much better. But we don't need only to look at very strong emotion, like I mentioned in the beginning. When you meditate, it's really advisable to look into subtle emotions. And normally, any form of tension will include emotion within it. So when you move in meditation and observing inwardly, you'll see a level of emotion either in the area of your throat or your chest to begin with. And the technique to use, and I also recorded meditation to guide only on this technique, is to search for that emotion that normally manifests in the top of the body and to be with it as infinity, with infinite mind. This will resolve the emotion very fast, and then you start to go from one layer to another, deeper and deeper, because that's how you're going to feel and find the emotions. Once you cleanse the emotion on the vertical axis, you start to move from the center out, and you notice that there are layers of tension and emotion also moving outside like this. And you start to move out, and you know that you're on a layer of tension because your breathing gets shorter, because the emotion becomes heavier, and you don't feel good. Then you stay there on that layer, and you continue out like this. And you continue out with no limitation until you feel that you're emotion free and you are actually blissful, full, blissful. You're infinite with bliss. So blessing on your practice. I'm sure you'll be successful. I'm always here. If there's any question, please don't hesitate to ask. Have a beautiful day, beautiful life.